So, as usual, I was spending the weekend when not doing kid things, and I've got a daughter that swims, a daughter that plays golf, and then of course my wife, we're doing things. And it just seems like all the stuff on real estate was coming in like a freight train until First Republic. And remember, we haven't been talking about banks crashing for a little while here. It's been weeks since we talked about that. And all of a sudden, First Republic, that everybody said, how's First Republic doing? It was kind of sitting in the corner, looking a little green. Oh, I'm not feeling well. But everybody thought, they'd had some Pepto-Bismol and they were doing all right. Well, apparently, all right, went from I'm doing all right to looking a little green straight to hospice because the regulators stepped in and First Republic was suddenly put out there to get a competitive auction where the regulators are inviting other bigger banks. Hey, would someone like to buy this bank? You're going to get the stack of loans, you have the stack of depositors, the bank itself is in trouble, other things are going to get taken care of, but who's going to take care of these loans? Who's going to take care of these customers? And that's what the other banks are bidding on. Well, it was PNC, and if you know anything about, the Pittsburgh Pirates still play at PNC Park.
I have no idea.
Anyway, so you see PNC everywhere, but everybody knows who JPMorgan Chase is. And it turns out, I was looking around on Sunday and they said, well, it's a horse race between PNC and JPMorgan, but I saw the announcement on Sunday afternoon, JPMorgan by a nose. So if you are with First Republic Bank, hang on, the FDIC has got your deposits under control and JPMorgan is now in control of your bank. So all the things that were going on with these banks in crisis was getting sorted out. But this goes back, and go back a couple podcasts and listen to the Biz Doc talk about that if you've got a medium-sized business, anything over $500,000 in sales, you should be thinking about splitting your banking relationship. And here's what I talked about, and I'm going to talk about it again. If you're with First Republic right now, this week you're having a bunch of migraine headaches. Let me tell you why. Because what's today? What's today?
Monday.
First of the month.
Yes, first of the month. May
What's
1st.
due on the first of the month?
Rent.
Rent. So if you're a business and you've leased a building, you have to pay rent. And if you've got a First Republic account, I don't know what's going on over there, but you might have issues there during the JPMorgan transition. Additionally, what do people do once a week? Half businesses do it once a week, other half businesses do it every 2 weeks. Pay their people. So you've got move money over to your Paychecks or ADP, whoever you use, Insperity, whoever you're using for HR processing and payroll processing. There you go. And so you have that going on. My goodness. Well, the Biz Doc had been recommending that you split your banking relationship. That if you've got a regional bank that you really like, and remember I told you the story about being with a wonderful regional bank in Texas. My small business was, I had a small business on the side doing consulting work, even as I was working with Pat and the giant insurance company that he built, that I was privileged to support what was going on there. And here I was at this fantastic bank, Legacy Texas Bank, but then they get bought by a bank headquartered out of Houston that's doing a bunch of roll-ups. So I went through it, but that was like just a legitimate one company buying another. But why was I with the regional bank? Because I got local services and I knew everybody and it was convenient and I could go into say, hey, I need to get a $25,000 cashier's check for a vendor, and I could go in and get that and I knew everybody. Well, you go into the larger banks, you can get that too, but it was just, the small regional banks just provide a little bit extra services there. So if you've got that going on, keep it. But I recommend going to one of the majors, B of A, and then you've got Chase, and you've got Citi, and then down there, fourth place, you have Wells Fargo. So maybe you not want to mess with that one too much because we all know they open accounts for people. And I don't think that's even sorted out yet. They still got a lot of lawsuits going on that. But I would get with Citi, I would get with Chase, or I would get with B of A and get yourself an account that maybe you only pay your rent out of. But you transfer money over once a month, only pay the rent. Why? Because if there's a banking crisis, now you've got two, and you're in position to say one of your key relationships is with the big one, and then you get all your local services from the small one. And again, if you're bigger than $500,000, I honestly believe that that is the way you should do it.